Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, over the last couple of videos or so, we've been looking at how fear is used against our sense of logic in order to be able to get the way of whatever government body wants to. And the media is used very much in this. Why the media? Well, that's where we get most of our day-to-day educational input, isn't it? We get told that there are storms coming, we get told that there are people being killed here or being killed there. Mostly it's the bad news because people go into fear and feel that we better be told about these things so that we can change our behavior and protect ourselves. Right now there is a little grassroots thing that's going around that Beth has told me about, and she's told me that we'd better be careful what we're doing nowadays because somebody is out there with a gun, right? Somebody's out there with a gun and they've robbed somebody somebody that's walking along or in a car, and they've come up and they pointed the gun and said, "Give me your money." And of course the person in the face of a gun has felt compelled to do as he has been asked, he or she. And so now everybody is in danger of having a gun pressed to their head and giving up their wallet. So nobody's out there. That's what we would be led to believe by hearing this report that somebody did that, and Beth saying, well, we should be back by 5 because this person's out there. And it makes it seem as if the world suddenly, because of one report, as if everything has just gone crazy and we're living in Dodge City again. Well, one of the books that I'm presently reading, which I have to give an incredible thumbs up for, and that is what and I still haven't looked in my email. I am ashamed to say I haven't looked in my email to find out who sent me this incredible book, and also the video, which I still haven't been able to see just yet. But this is a book by Stephen Ransom, who apparently is a pretty well-known writer and is very much on the cutting edge of saying it how it is. This is a quote by George Orwell. "During times of universal deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act." And that's my wife, who is stamping about in the background, making as much noise as she can. But anyway, one of the things that's in the front of the book that establishes just how we are manipulated is the story of the emperor's clothes. And the emperor, this is a famous old story, the emperor is fooled into thinking that the new clothes by a couple of scammers who claim that their clothes are so incredibly light and made of a material that is so advanced that you can't actually see it and feel it on you. So the emperor starts strutting around in these clothes that he's persuaded to put on, and he's actually naked as the day he's born. Not a pretty sight, even for an emperor. Well, anyway, the book then goes on to show just how much we are lied to. And one of the examples that it gives is about the flu shot. And the flu shot, let's put it to rest. Why do we have these different shots? Well, these different shots are a product. They're a product, just like the pair of glasses that I'm wearing now. It's a product. I bought these glasses, right? This spoon is a product. It's used. I use it. It's either good. Actually, it's pretty crappy because it's as light as anything. If I jumped on that too much, I might swallow the spoon as well. But anyway, we're not, unless you are unless you are related in some way to an ostrich, you will not have your head in the sand, and you'll know that actually we may not be told the truth about a lot of things. And one of the things that we are lied to all over the globe is our medical help. Speak to any American, almost any American, and they will tell you in absolute faith that theirs is the best medical help in the entire world, if not the universe. I'm not such a believer in that. I've lived in several places across the world, and I think different.
Darling. Remember, lovely, my message, they gonna borrow the red truck?
Yes, I do, darling.
Kuya Timio is asking if yes or no.
Well, can you ask him if he would return
the
truck tonight?
Tomorrow morning.
I need to be out early tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And here's a revolutionary new idea. That thing that's at the back of the truck, which is called a gas tank, would he find the combination for removing the cap and putting in some gas?
Yeah, so he said, I told him that you're gonna use that tomorrow. So he said he's gonna return it early in the morning because he goes to pastor meeting also. So before he go there, he return the truck tomorrow morning and get his motorcycle. So he's gonna leave the motorcycle.
I'm not so much worried about him getting the motorcycle as I am about him returning the truck.
Yeah, he's gonna return.
And my beautiful Filipino wife, you still haven't acknowledged what I said.
Yeah, there's a gas. Okay?
Yes, there's a gas.
Yeah. Okay?
What exactly does that mean, darling? Yes,
he's gonna return it with gasoline.
With gasoline.
Yeah.
Yes, it will take gasoline to get it back to us, but
there's a little.
There's a little.
Yeah, because sometimes my brother didn't realize that sometimes Terence and I, when we return the truck, the gasoline is not enough to go us down.
Yes, see, Timio's calculations.
And there's no gasoline in the road.
Timio's calculations are, is there enough gas in here for me to return the truck? But it doesn't occur to him to think a little bit further than that, and that I have to make the trip down and get to, well, the gas station.
I give also something for the gasoline.
And honey, can you remember that there is no gas at Weka?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, because that's their religious day, Saturday.
Yeah, he's gonna put gas today.
He's gonna.
Yeah, because they're going to be gone tonight.
So, and are we going to pay for that?
Yeah, I gave 500.
Oh, so if you give him 500, it will be to put gas for him to get to Tubigon. Yes, can you come back in the picture, honey?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go now. I got a fever.
No, never mind. Don't play the fever card, okay? You don't have to have a fever to talk about gas in the tank.
Yeah, there will be a gas, okay?
There will be a gas.
Yeah, okay.
Is that just one gas, or will it be
maybe 2 liters of gas?
Maybe 2 liters, as many as 2 liters of gas. Gosh, we can go hundreds of yards with that.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Do you ever get the feeling that you've just been bums rushed through something? But anyway, as long as there's a gas in the truck, why would I worry? Anyway, as I was saying, I think I was saying about the flu. Now, I remember when I was in Florida, that people I don't know when it was, because I never used to get a flu jab, feeling that the flu is not such a terrible disease, and that, you know, perhaps, heaven forbid, we're not being told all of the truth about whether we're going to die with the flu. And so I'm just looking at what Mr. Ransom is saying, and I have looked at the the conditions for which I'm allowed to quote from this book, and as long as I make little quotations of around 500 words, I'm allowed to do that. And I'm giving full credit to Mr. Ransom, Stephen Ransom, Wake Up Health. Wonderful, wonderful book so far, Mr. Ransom. I don't know whether to be shocked and thank you, or to close the book and never look at it again. I think I'm going to keep on reading. So, here's what the American media did when they were trying to advertise. Let's face it, if the flu jab is a product, then the product has to be advertised. Now, how does the pharmaceutical industry, how do they do that? Well, they create a need, and then they supply the resolution or the solution to that need. They fill the demand. Now, what does the following headline is from news.jax.com, 5th of February 2001. So, in big, bold capital letters, could killer flu pandemic hit Jacksonville? Doctors predict 200 million Americans could be infected. In America, the Centers for Disease Control predict 200 million people will be infected. 300,000 to 800,000 will be hospitalized, and anywhere from 88,000 to 300,000 people could die. Doctors say that the best defense is to get a flu shot every year. Gosh. Now, just where did all these headlines come from? The following report is from the BBC, prompting further investigation from Credence. Well, the number of those catching the flu bug has risen by more than 80% in just 7 days, and hospitals and ambulance services are bracing themselves for a further tide of emergency admissions and deaths. Provisional figures released on Wednesday by the Royal College of General Practitioners show the first large rise in cases in the south as the virus spreads from the north and the Midlands. God, what a terrible time that must have been, like the Great Plague of London. But anyway, hardly a pandemic. It says, as the emergency bed service issued a warning that hospitals may run out of beds, it emerged on Wednesday that a second Norfolk hospital is using a refrigerated lorry trailer to act as a standby mortuary. My God, the people are going to be dropping dead in the streets from there. You go, achoo! And that's the end of it. They're going to meet their maker. But it says, great mileage was made of the death of 33-year-old UK rugby player Kieran Gregory, and of Nigel Trantor, one of Britain's most prolific authors who succumbed to the deadly plague. He was 90 years old. But these star deaths were about the only tragedies the media could muster. Hardly an epidemic. In another desperate bid to report on something compellingly flu-oriented, one BBC Evening News item featured a roving reporter giving a live update from Scotland's flu outbreak epicentre. Are you afraid? I'm just scared out of my pants. The camera panned across a hospital ward containing, wait for it, 7 beds, in which lay 7 persons, all over the age of 65, all suffering from mid-January flu. And of course, because of their age, all these 7 people fell comfortably within the risk group associated with contracting flu anyway. Hardly award-winning material. Throughout the whole flu campaign, this was the most earth-shattering evidence. Let's just look at what they were predicting. 200 million people will be infected. 300,000 to 800,000 will be hospitalized, and anywhere from 88,000 to 300,000 people could die. Back to the reality. These 7 old codgers, 65, were all in flu. in the hospital. It was a terrible scene. So, among all this hype and the push to inoculate, the flu seasons came and went, and the body counts both in the UK and the US remain normal. Now, the point is that when you get the flu shot, it seems that you're just as likely to get the flu. But of course, those people who have endured the flu shot, what they'll do is they'll say, ah, yeah, but it wasn't that bad. And then somebody else who hasn't had it, are you kidding me? Don't you think it's worth just having that little bit of insurance? See, we're just so conditioned to believe what we're told. And if we don't look at what has been predicted, you see, all of those figures are just 300,000, 200 million, all of these figures. You just imagine people dropping like flies from what? Flu! It's flu! It's not the Black Death. This is not what it is. It's just flu. I mean, I've had flu, and look at me. Well, maybe you shouldn't look at me as a picture of health, but I'm not dead, and I'm over 65. Oh, there's a big admission, isn't it? The point being that a flu shot is as much a product as this spoon, and the people that they go to advertise things like this spoon and these glasses are doing the same job except of advertising, except that the media that the pharmaceuticals use spread panic by saying that millions of people are going to be infected. We're going to be falling like flies. And it's just not true. It's not true. So, I am going to go into a little bit more on another video about the man who actually pioneered, if that's the word, the flu and other, well, inoculations. He pioneered the use of inoculations, that's blanket injections in order to prevent a certain disease. And right now we are in a society where we could be sending our children to school, and this is in the Philippines at least, and they could be coming back home saying that they've been injected with something. Now, we're going to tell our children that if there is any talk about injecting them with anything, they are to pick up their bag or not and come home before anything can be injected into their beautiful little bodies. Because a good, healthy immune system is about the best inoculation that you need. Of course, this is all my opinion, but if you read a book such as Stephen Ransom has written, in there he quotes all of the kinds of experts that you would like to trust anyway, and they are experts who have been giving the inoculations of various kinds to hundreds, possibly thousands of people, while refusing to give their own children the jab. That's a sobering thought, isn't it? Well, that's a little rant from me. It's not exactly a late night meandering because it's only 6 o'clock. But I'll be back later. We are home early today. And while we are on the subject of health, I am feeling much better. And I thank all of those people who expressed interest in telling me to, listen old chap, you better go and lie down and have a rest. Well, I did this afternoon, okay? And I'm feeling okay, and I'm not coughing my heart up or my blood or my whatever. I'm doing okay. Thanks for thinking of me, and bye for now. This is a foreigner in the Philippines, okay? think twice or 3 times or 4 times or 5 or as many as it takes, and do a little bit of reading up on inoculations, because the story is not quite what you're being led to believe. Think about this. McDonald's actually gives out information on the nutritional value of its food. Here's a little test for you. Go and get yourself a bag of fries from McDonald's. Get a small bag. A small fries, take it home, put the bag undisturbed on top of the fridge and leave it there for 3 months. And then take it down and to an unsuspecting friend or guest say, "Here, how would you like a French fry?" And stop them before they can eat it, of course, but they will reach for a French fry that looks as good as the day it was born. Now, whatever do they do to a French fry to make it live without a single microbe or fly or bug even want to touch it? It stays in pristine condition. I wish that my car would stay in the same condition as that French fry, but after 3 months it looks like it's been used badly. Okay, do the test, the French fry test. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Thanks for looking in. Bye for now.